Hello, welcome to the Good News Roundup, your weekly digest of what's going well in the world. In today's positive news, an anonymous donor pays off the student loans of 100 students in the United States. The UK's first queer history museum opens its doors, a place like no other where working people and young people with mental and cognitive disabilities coexist, an Albanian farmer using old coffee grounds as fertilizer, and a man with no flying experience manages to land a plane. Here we go. Students at Wiley College in Marshall, East Texas, had no idea how much their lives would change when attending their graduation ceremony. Over 100 American college students found out that an anonymous donor had paid off all of their student loans. As you can imagine, everyone immediately exploded with joy after Headmaster Herman Felton's announcement.
You are debt-free. You do not owe the college a penny. If you have a balance, you had a balance. You no longer have a balance.
According to the school's estimates, the combined debt totaled $300,000. That's about 280,000 euros. Wiley College is a historically black liberal arts institution that made history in 1935 when the college debate team competed on equal footing with whites for the first time in the American South. They defeated the reigning national debate champion, University of Southern California, and the story has even been made into a movie starring Denzel Washington, The Great Debaters. As for the anonymous gifts to the newly graduated students, the school's motto, "Go Forth Inspired," has never rang so true. And now we're off to the United Kingdom, where the country's first dedicated LGBTQ+ history museum has opened its doors. Queer Britain, that's his name, opened on May the 5th at Granary Square in London.
Welcome to Queer Britain, the UK's first LGBTQ+ museum.
The museum is free to visit and open to everyone, whether you are part of the LGBTQ+ community or not. Did you know that homosexuality ceased to be a criminal offence in England and Wales only in 1967? And that same-sex marriage has been legal since 2014 in England, Scotland and Wales, but only since 2020 in Northern Ireland. That's why Queer Britain aims to play a key role in the preservation of queer culture and history. There, the public can find a photography display featuring the work of Ali Crew and Robert Taylor, among others. Visitors can also learn about pioneers from the queer community like Justin Fashanu.
Fashanu! Oh, what a goal! Oh, that's a magnificent goal!
In 1990, he became the first football player to publicly come out as gay. Stay tuned as the museum will unveil its first exhibition in July. In France, nearly 7 million people suffer from isolation, including 15% of 25-35-year-olds. The percentage is even higher for people with mental or cognitive disabilities, but this can change. Take, for example, 29-year-old Axel Cruchet. This young woman, who has Down syndrome, has asserted her independence by moving into a shared house in the north of Nantes. In her new home, she lives with 4 young people with mental and cognitive disabilities and 5 active young people, thanks to a project called Fratrie. That's Brotherhoods in English.
Le caractère vraiment innovant de Fratrie, c'est le fait qu'ici, il n'y a pas de relation de sachant ou d'aidant et aidé entre les jeunes avec handicap et les jeunes professionnels. Ici, c'est vraiment une colocation comme n'importe laquelle.
The social inclusion project is described as unique in France, where despite initiatives emerging here and there, the majority of these people are obliged to stay with their parents for lack of suitable accommodation.
Du coup, ici, à la fratrie, je me sens bien. J'ai trouvé une très bien autonome aussi. J'ai trouvé mon dépendance. Et du coup, ça m'a changé l'esprit. C'est-à-dire, ça a tout changé pour moi.
During the day, carers come to the house to help the disabled young people with dressing, shopping or cooking, depending on their needs. But otherwise, everyone is on an equal basis.
Simplicité, joie, amour, tous les matins. D'habitude, j'ai du mal à me lever le matin et ils sont tous là dans la cuisine avec un grand sourire. Est-ce que j'ai bien dormi, je reviens du boulot, est-ce que t'as bien travaillé? Et puis c'est toujours de la joie, toujours plein de câlins, on discute de tout et de rien. Vraiment, on est nous-mêmes et dans la simplicité, donc je suis trop heureuse.
Did you know that just between 2020 and 2021, Europeans consumed 242 million kilograms of coffee? That's the equivalent of about 35 billion cups, and a lot of coffee waste. But here's a tip for you. You can actually recycle it. Use it for DIY makeup recipes or cleaning products, or, like this Albanian farmer, use it as a fertilizer. This is Alban Chakali, who owns land in northwest Albania, where he grows tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and other vegetables. He is also experimenting with exotic plants like passion fruit. And this is where the coffee grounds come in.
Ideja lindi për shkak sepse çmimet e fertilizuesve ose të plerave që ne përdorim në bujqësi, sidomos çmimi I plerave azotike arriti në stratosferë. Dhe kjo e bëri të pamundur që ne t'ja dalim në bujqësi.
Chakali collects up to 10 kilograms of coffee grounds from a number of local coffee bars per day. He then mixes it with grass cuttings and waits 3 months so it can turn into mulch before using it on his passion fruit plants.
Prej shumë kohësh, ne përdorim lumin e kafes. Lumi I kafes ka vlera ushqimore.
Farmer Chakali needs a steady supply to keep the plants in his greenhouse topped up with fertilizer. But his approach is not only an ingenious way to save money, it also contributes to saving the environment.
Mirë është që në bujqësi gjithçka të riciklohet. Toka don ushqim her pas here. Dhe mënyra më mirë është që ne të gjitha frutat, të gjitha mbetjet në bujqësi t'i rikthejmë përsëri tek toka, sepse ne kohë të fundit ne po vuajmë për shkak të erozionit dhe të mungesës së pjesës së torfës së tokës, sidomos Europa.
After a successful start with passion fruits, Chakali has now turned his attention to kiwi fruits. And what about you? Are you ready to drink more coffee to help the planet? And now, here's a question for you. What would you do if you were mid-flight and the pilot was suddenly no longer able to fly the plane? Maybe most of us would be trying simply not to panic, but when this really happened, a local hero took matters into his own hands and managed to land the plane. It all unfolded on May the 10th after the pilot of a small plane experienced a medical emergency mid-flight over Florida. One passenger used a cockpit radio to communicate after realizing the pilot was too sick to handle the controls. Here's what that exchange sounded like.
I've got a serious situation here. My pilot is on incoherent. I have no idea how to fly the airplane.
What was the situation with the pilot?
He is incoherent. He is out.
Try to hold the wings level and see if you can start descending for me. Push forward on the controls and descend at a very slow rate.
Yeah, I'm descending right now at 550 feet a minute.
Maintain wings level and just try to follow the coast, either north or southbound. We're trying to locate you.
Both air traffic controllers and the passenger kept calm, and eventually the plane was spotted. Controllers then guided him to a safe landing at Palm Beach International Airport, something that can be learned in about 20 hours with basic flight instructions. And this week, we're wrapping up with these images of Mitsuni, a 3-month-old giraffe at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. The animal had to wear leg braces fitted to correct an unusual disorder that caused her legs to bend the wrong way, but now she can frisk and play with the rest of the herd. If you've enjoyed our roundup and want to hear more good news, subscribe to our YouTube channel, let us know in the comments, and share our stories with your friends. Good news travels fast. And if you've got a positive story you think we should share, send it to us by commenting below. And remember, some news can be good news.